Hi, my name is Elise Taylor with It's a Blast, and I'm here to show you how to make a paper rocket. This is a paper rocket. They go 200 to 300 feet in the air and they're launched with an air launcher. You can use them over and over again. And the first thing you need is a hard flat surface. We're using a cutting board here today. That gives us a hard flat surface. The second thing you need is a piece of paper. This is 8.5 by 11 paper. It's a standard 24 pound and it can be found in any office supply store. The second thing you'll need is a roller. This is a specially coated piece of PVC and it gives you the correct diameter so that the rocket will slide easily off the launch rod. Next you take your roller and you put it on the paper. And you'll take the edges of your paper and line them up so that they are straight. The next thing you'll do is you'll take regular Elmer's glue. You'll put a thin bead of glue right along the edge of the paper. Just like that. Then you'll take it and you'll tuck it under. Make sure the paper is tight around the roller. Once you get to this point, you will take a thin bead of glue on the second edge. And this time you'll smear it with your finger. Then you will continue rolling up the paper to form a tube. You'll press the seam down to get to stick good. Then you'll take a damp rag and run it over the seam. That will help the paper to curl and it'll remove any excess glue. Then you slide this off and your tube is done. Now I would recommend letting this dry for about 24 hours before you try and move on to the next step. I'm going to use a tube that I rolled up earlier, and what we'll do is first we'll take a high temperature hot glue gun and you'll put a bead of hot glue approximately a 1/4 inch down inside one end of your tube. Then you'll take a piece of foam, and we have these available on our website if you can't find them locally. And you'll squish it a little bit and then you'll twist it down in while the glue is still hot. You want the foam approximately halfway in and halfway out. This makes it safe when it lands and makes it so that you can reuse your rocket. Next you'll take a piece of regular PVC pipe and you'll slide it in. That way when we put the fins on, it will keep you from squishing the paper too. Now to make the fins we use cardstock, and we have this available in bundles like this of assorted colors, and it's already cut. So you choose what color you like. In this case I have 3 colors, and you simply stack those cards up and you can cut them all at the same time. Now you're just going to cut them diagonally, right from one corner straight up to the second corner. And this will give you 2 stacks of triangles. I'm going to set one aside, and then I'll take this one and I'm going to use these triangles. You want them all going the same direction, and this time you're going to put a thin bead of glue right on the triangle. We found that it tends to work better if you put the glue on the triangle instead of on the rocket itself. And then you take your fin and you glue it on. Now you'll want to make sure this top corner up here is glued securely so that the air doesn't catch it, because that will cause drag and your rocket won't fly as well. Then you can take a second one and put it on. The same as the first. This time I'm gluing 3 fins on, so I'm going to try and guess approximately 1/3 of the way for each one. If you're doing 4 fins, you can do the 2 opposite ones and then go back and put the 3rd and the 4th in between the first 2, so that it's like this one. And then your fins will be evenly spaced that way. We do recommend that you use at least 3 fins, and they need to be on the bottom half of the rocket. You don't want them up by the nose cone because it won't fly as straight if they're up there. There's no need to bend these out away from the rocket. As you can see, they stick out from the side of the rocket. Now that's how you put the fins on, and this is with 3, and they're evenly spaced. Now, if you want the top of the rocket pointy, you simply take a pair of scissors and you just make little snips, and you turn and a little snip and turn, and just continue doing that all the way around the nose cone until it's the shape that you like. You don't want to cut the nose cone too short because this helps absorb the shock when it lands, and also if kids try and catch it, it'll make it safer for them to try and catch. And there's your rocket. That's ready to launch. The glue on the fins is dry enough to launch just within a few seconds as long as you smear it thin. You don't want an excessive amount because it will take a long time to dry.